Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to another episode of Living World of Darkness, Rage Across New York, the werewolf venue. So Maeve's been keeping busy, doing a really outrageous amount of gardening, really, and spending much of her remaining free time and lessons with the youngest of the Theurges. And tonight she's got something of a wild hair up her ass, and with Garrett and his pack essentially living in her front yard, it's not hard to bother him, really, assuming he's about. So she'll poke out of her cabin with one of those cheapo microwavy bags of popcorn and just kind of glance in the direction of the rock to see if the Shadow Lord is in residence.
Oh, he's doing his usual routine of sitting down, propped up against the rock, smoking a cigarette. It's his little nightly ritual before he goes out on patrol.
Indeed. So she'll count herself lucky having caught him pre-patrol instead of having to walk all the trails ever to find him. And for lack of a better reason to bother the man, is just gonna meander his way, and as whether or not she gets acknowledged will eventually probably plunk down to sit in front of him. I mean, still a good 5 feet or so away, but, well, no, probably more like 10 feet or so away. But just kind of plunk down.
He will acknowledge her. As a matter of fact, his eyes follow her for the entire motion as she walks toward and sits down. When she finally sits down, his one of his hands just kind of waves like, Maeve.
And she'll pop up a hand and plunk down. And finally just kind of look his way and like, hey, so how long do you ignore me and I pretend not to care until you've made your point?
The intention was never to ignore you.
Well, I mean, after a lengthy period of talking fairly often as friends and going to not talking at all unless I need something, it feels suspiciously like being ignored.
No, I mean, if you need something, you can come see me.
And I guess just wanting to talk to you isn't much of a reason, huh?
If there's something you need to talk to me about, go ahead.
And she'll take up kind of a thoughtful expression, at least briefly. Not in particular, no.
And then here we are. There's the weather.
There it is. It's true. Hopefully it will be good after doing the trial and whatnot. I don't know what the effects are of Spring's Blessing, but I got it.
Yes, your rite of passage.
Nearly done.
It's very involved.
She kind of shrugs. I'm kind of surprised that the others aren't more involved.
Yeah, most of the rite of passages here have been quick affairs. Though the Cubs have been putting in their work.
I mean, Sinas was a little more involved. It involved some traveling and us nearly getting kidnapped by another sept. So, I mean, there was some excitement there. But having seen Talia's and, well, heard about Talia's and heard about Lucas's, it seems like some of them are really short and simple, and this one's really long. But
Speaking of Cinna,
Hmm?
how was she doing?
And she'll kind of take up a thoughtful expression again. I mean, she was really bad right after we got her out. I stayed with her for a while, but she's acting more like herself. So,
How about that little night on the town?
I'm not sure how she talked me into that being a good idea, but hopefully something worthwhile came of it. Hopefully it helped Aaron with whatever he was doing.
How did she act while on that little excursion?
Hmm. I mean, she was being forward and being bold. Didn't seem uncomfortable with where we were. Managed to, and she kind of cringes, managed to flirt with the bouncer out front to get us in. I didn't really think about where we were going, so it's a good thing she did, because I'm still 18.
Indeed. And you got to spend some quality time with my packmate.
Yeah. I mean, she did me a solid, and I can appreciate that. So,
Oh, what'd she do?
uh, there was there's apparently a rule in that bar about not bothering women unless you buy them drinks. So a man bought us all drinks and proceeded to try very hard to bother us. And when I, kind of migrated to the back of the group, he took even more interest, and Lily stepped between us, which I appreciated. It wasn't anything serious or terrible, but I appreciated it.
You'll see a slight smile creep on Garrett's face as he hears that. Men.
Well, those men.
And then I heard it got... Go ahead.
She just kind of takes up a vaguely like concentrating look when he's saying "and then," as if she is expecting to have to recall something again.
And then I heard it got a little messy.
Yeah, it did. It wasn't too terrible, all things considered, but it did get a bit messy. I'm still kind of going back and puzzling over. I mean, I was really set against the idea of going in when we saw how many men were there, but it seemed like a good idea at the time. Thankfully, the delirium is a hell of an effect, so all in all, it worked out.
Did you finally get a chance to jump into the fray?
No, I was the lookout.
The lookout?
She shrugs. I mean, it was an alley in a fairly busy area. We needed to have someone at the mouth of the alley to make sure that people weren't coming in, or if they did, that everyone in there was warned. Watching for backup, that sort of thing. So I was at the mouth of the alley, kind of tucked behind a dumpster. Yeah, I know. Lily was actually out that direction too, initially. Though when the fighting started up, she ran that way before I did.
Of course.
Well, I fought with it. I knew that on the one hand they might need the help, but on the other that was what I had been asked to do. And I didn't want to leave my post, as it were.
So then tell me how it comes to pass that you're spotted in Lupus.
I was playing lookout in Lupus. Someone said something in a car as they were going by, but...
You see Garrett start shaking his head with closed eyes.
Yeah, I know. I probably should have just stayed in Hamid, but I feel like I see more in Lupus.
You're getting too damn comfortable in that form.
just seemed like the best form to take for a
The form
lookout.
of the city is Hamid.
Well, I know that now. I'm just very used to being on Sept. I hadn't really thought about it. I didn't think I'd be spotted. I'd found a pretty good place to shift in the first place.
Being on lookout is more than just seeing and smelling. It's also blending in.
She'll kind of quirk her brow and glance down at herself and kind of cringe at the thought. I'm pretty sure that blending in would have meant getting assaulted by whoever walked by, but it still would have been better than being in Lupus.
Yeah.
No, I know I made a mistake.
It's a big fuck up, Maeve. I don't know if anybody's impressed that upon you about how big of a fuck up it is.
Nobody's said anything, but then again, no one's really talked to me since it happened, so I know it's a big fuck up. I know it's
I'd
a
expect a
problem.
visit.
As far as we know, there's no pictures, there's nothing else. I don't know if anyone caught the plate number, but
No, but we got some Yahoo who's going to go running off his mouth about how he saw a wolf.
well,
He catches the ear of the right person, they'll believe him. My packmate breached the veil. I haven't heard from her or seen her since. All I have to go on is a cryptic message from Teeth of Titanium. And he's staring he's staring daggers at you when he mentions Teeth's name.
She just kind of blinks. You mean Dizzy?
Yeah.
You haven't seen her since?
He shakes his head.
She takes up a pretty obvious note of concern on that and kind of glances up at the rock.
So, when the topic of your potential veil breach got mentioned, Teeth was very clear in that we deal with veil breaches and that I should ask Dizzy. So if I were you, I'd go running to the first Philodox you can find before they have to find you.
She'll kind of cast a glance towards Olaf's cabin. Okay. I haven't been hiding. I figured that Olaf would come to me eventually about it.
He's going to pee in ear. Hold on. Okay, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 7 successes. Like, how is she looking after he mentions like that she's got a potential veil breach on her hands and that Teeth of Titanium may have done something to Dizzy? And he hasn't seen her since.
She obviously hadn't put much thought into it because it wasn't much more than some drunk guy going like, "Oh my god, a wolf!" as they like sped by in a car far too fast to be taking pictures. She knows there were no cameras in the area, so while in regards to her veil breach, she obviously hadn't thought much of it. She's obviously very concerned about Dizzy and kind of surprised that she hadn't noticed that Dizzy wasn't around. So the concern is kind of growing, but it's obviously something that I don't know. I guess she either it's something she obviously hadn't thought twice about.
There's not a touch of fear in her now.
There is, especially regarding the mention of Teeth. It's just that she's kind of befuddled that the whole thing has become that serious that fast, and it's taking a second to really set in.
It's best not to make them wait. Accept responsibility for your fuck-ups.
Okay. Yeah, I'll talk to Olaf tonight, I guess. And she'll become a little more withdrawn and obviously getting a little more worked up thinking more about it.
Garrett leans back and he takes a long drag on his cigarette. Jesus Christ, Maeve. You're about to become a Clea soon.
Okay.
You sure
And
you're
most of
ready?
the people who have broken the veil thus far have been Cleath or higher. I don't see how that means you think I'm suddenly not ready. I know I'm ready.
The other people know the gravity of a veil breach.
I know the gravity of being caught on camera or caught on video. Some drunk speeding along in the middle of the night and saying they're sure they see a wolf. I don't think that it's the same threat level. I hadn't really thought about it because of that. I understand that it's the same crime.
You got lucky that it was just a drunk guy speeding by. You were
I know.
standing dead in the middle of an alley as a wolf.
I wasn't standing dead in the middle. I was tucked behind a dumpster.
Still noticeable enough for a drunk speeding by to notice you.
Which kind of blows my mind, but yes. I thought I was hidden away better than that. I'm surprised nobody said anything when I got into place before everyone else ran in.
And what if somebody had walked by at a slow pace?
Then I guess I would have had to take care of the problem so that there wasn't a veil breach, wouldn't I?
Okay, he actually smiles at that and he's going to P&E you again. Just one this time.
She's obviously frustrated about being given the nth degree about it, but she's earnest in saying it. You get the impression that she would have done exactly just that if she had to.
I hope when the time comes that you will.
And she gets kind of a peeved look. You can tell her temper's getting up a little bit. She's turned a little pink. And she just kind of bursts out. I don't know why everyone questions my willingness to do what needs to be done. Just because I don't murder people willy-nilly every time the opportunity presents itself doesn't mean I can't do my duty. When I have to kill something, I will kill something or someone. But if I don't have to kill someone, I'm not going to go out of my way to murder someone to get my jollies. It shouldn't be that complex an idea. It shouldn't be that hard to understand.
No, it's quite simple.
I'm just tired of everyone looking at me sideways after every mission.
We notice patterns.
And the pattern is that we win. And that in one way or another I contribute, whether or not it's exactly the way that other people would.
The question will linger.
The question will linger no matter how many people I kill at this point. Unless I go around and slaughter someone just for the fun of it.
You'd be surprised. You do that one, that's all it takes.
Well, if Lily remembers the plate number, I didn't see it. You give it to me, I'll give it to Erin. Hell, she can give it to Erin. I don't care. I'll deal with the veil breach if I have to prove the point and to handle the problem.
Good.
But unless someone can track them down, there's not much I can do about it now.
He takes another long drag.
And she'll wait for him, and then, once he's enjoyed his drag, we'll kind of cock her head a bit. Is there anything else you're hearing about me? Anything else I need to set straight for the record?
His lower lip sticks out. And his eyes look up thinking, no.
Good.
He's looking at you. He's just...
She's still just visibly kind of flustered about the whole thing and obviously irate that those assumptions are still being made. But she's just kind of stewing in it.
Is there anything else you need from me?
No, I mean, at this rate, if people are going to talk, I thought more talk filtered back to me than that. Clearly, I need to check in with you anyways.
There's one thing I can guarantee you, Maeve, is that I will give you talks like this anytime I think you're walking off the path.
So, in other words, you're still going to look out for me, but you're going to do it from way over here.
I've been calling people on their bullshit from day one. You're no different.
You've been calling me on my bullshit since day 2, I think. So be it.
And I will not kill someone for your sake ever again.
She kind of blinks.
Not until I know, not until you've shown that you're willing. You say you are, and I have reason to believe you. But next time there's a helpless woman on the ground that needs to go, I'm going to be looking at you.
If there's reason that the person needs to die, then I will do it. You can call me over. I don't give a damn.
Good. The world's about to get a whole lot less nice for you, Maeve.
The world already hasn't been nice. I'm just not going to let it ruin me.
Being a cub has its advantages.
But the reality of the Sept is still a thing. And seeing Olaf punished for our slip-ups is just as bad as being punished ourselves, if not worse.
The thing is, when you get rank, lives are depending on you. As a cub, to a lesser extent. But once you get rank, now you got a lot more people looking up to you.
I'm not afraid of it. I can't advance without growing anyways.
Then let's hope that you pass your next trial.
With it being a trial of luck, I have to wonder. But it's only one more trial.
Make your luck.
Lucas has said much the same, but until I know what the trial is, there's not much I can do to prepare. And when I know what it is, it'll be moments before going into it.
He shrugs.
Hard to stack the deck when you don't even know whether or not there's going to be a deck in play.
Yeah, the state of your mind is about as much deck stacking as you can do.
Well, I know I'm going to be Fianna, and that is all there is to it. It's just a matter of getting through the trials so everyone else will acknowledge it too.
And then you'll finally be able to make that pact with Lucas.
And Chino, Katori willing.
That's up to Chino.
Well, true. If he wants to be in, I've already told him. Katori has said he will have to go to him himself. I hope that he does. I know he's on the verge of his own right, so it's only a matter of time.
There's been a couple of new faces on SEP 2 I heard about.
Mm-hmm.
How are they?
Calls is, I guess, about what you would expect of a relatively sane lupus fury.
Ugh. Yeah, okay.
But, yeah, sane. She's, yeah. There's none of that crazy man-hating stuff. She seems very keen on the wild.
Yeah, the standard looking down at us Hamids.
Well, I mean, that's just kind of the whole lupus bag. So
I know. Gets old.
And she does have a spirit with her. So at least she's interesting.
He perks up at that. A spirit, you say?
There's a fire spirit that stays with her and acts kind of like a guardian. When we went to get back Cinna, it actually breathed fire on one of the enemies. Helped us open a way.
It manifested in the Tellurian?
And now Katie's sitting here going, were we in the Umbra? I don't fucking know.
It's all good.
I'm just going to skip over that part.
Yep, that's
Because
fine.
I don't remember how that went.
Retracted.
And now that you mentioned it, I'm confused. I haven't seen it manifest in the Tellurian yet. And then there's the one that only just arrived, the Strider. And yeah, that's going to be bad. It's going to be hard. But he seems nice enough. And from what I can tell, he definitely knows how to prepare food like jerkies, but he also had herbal medicine. Actually, really well put together herbal medicines. So I may be looking into that.
He'll be fine.
But yes, he seems nice enough. Was definitely a little tentative with higher ranked members of the Sept because Travis gave him the side eye something hard. And
What do you mean by that?
I mean, Travis isn't really himself. And so where normally he'd be greeting someone with happiness and enthusiasm and, well, kind of, the Fianna standard, he's still not himself. Most of what he said sounded very harsh. It was the standard warnings we give people when they come to the Sept, but it was spoken almost as if it was a preemptive accusation.
Preemptive accusation.
Well, instead of saying, oh, hey, just so you know, we don't do this, we don't do that, don't go hunting vampires without permission. It was spoken as such a way as to make it more of a threat. Like,
Gotcha.
don't do this or we'll do that.
Gotcha.
It was more aggressive.
Mm-hmm. Well, you heard what happened to him, right?
Technically, no one's told her in play yet, so no.
Don't know if it's
No.
my place to say.
He's just been off for a while now.
It's going to be a while.
And she'll knit her brow, but if he's already said it's not his place to say, no amount of poking is going to make him spit it out, so. She'll just kind of shake her head a bit. I'll figure it out. If nothing else, I'll just ask him.
You could do that. Just be careful, though. I have noticed he's been a little testy.
He has, but at least so far, he and I have always done well. Even at my worst.
He is still in our room.
He is. Point. I'll be careful. I'll do it when the moon's as narrow as I can.
He nods at that.
But yeah, Sid Sid seems very amiable, and is fascinated with things like water faucets. So I think he'll be fine.
Is he lupus?
No, he just seems to have been raised, I guess, kind of nomad style in the desert. Like
Yeah,
out in the desert.
Yeah, he's a strider.
So he's definitely very taken with things like showers. And the idea of having enough water to just let it run down the drain.
Fascinating.
So yeah, there are definitely certain things that get pretty sharp reactions. It's not bad all in all. It's kind of nice to have someone who's in awe of things.
Seem to recall one other new one on Sept.
Hmm?
Now you mentioned calls.
Mm-hmm.
This Sid. Could have sworn I heard another howl.
She'll kind of think about it for a good minute. Do you remember any of the howl? I don't know how long it's been since you've gotten in touch with anyone.
Believe it said, and I'm looking for it.
Oh, there was an antenna, wasn't there?
Yes, and I was just about to say, yeah. I believe he was an antenna.
I did not actually make it to greet that one as they came in and haven't seen them since. So I don't know anything about that one yet.
Okay.
I figured they're probably, I don't know, talking to Katori.
More than likely.
Yeah, now that I think about it, it's strange that it's been this long and I haven't seen them. I'll have to go be nosy.
Yeah, keep a lookout.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you what I find out.
That's all that's new with me, Maeve.
I'm sorry you haven't seen Dizzy.
He shrugs. She's a big girl.
Yeah. Have you asked anyone about it? You haven't
Well,
even heard from her in the pack link?
I figured she'd come forward with it. I kind of value my headspace ever since this thing got turned on. And he actually makes like a circling motion with one finger around his head.
And she tilts her head a bit. Is it that open? Always kind of figured it was like talking into a phone.
He kind of grimaces. It's been interesting.
Well, guess it's good to actually get an honest idea of what that's like. I mean, for everyone else, it's like I said, it seems like, they pick up the phone, they say what they need to say, and then they put it down. No one's ever really talked about extra stuff.
You can you can share your senses, emotion.
She kind of knits her brow a little on that. I know I asked Lily to use hers a couple times when we went out and didn't realize you could send that much.
Oh yeah.
Huh.
I was able to see some street signs, her emotions at the time. Oh, she loves to fight.
Yeah. Yeah.
But sometimes it's not always welcome.
Hmm. Well, I imagine you value your privacy when it comes to inside your own head. I mean, you valued it enough in person, so
You'll find out soon enough.
yeah. She kind of thinks for a second and then pulls a face for about half a second and then kind of quickly composes herself again.
What
Uh,
kind of face was it?
uh vaguely disgusted.
Oh, peony bait. Oh yes. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I mean, the obvious reaction from her would be, oh, well, there's nothing that Lucas and I wouldn't. And then, she thought about it. What could Lucas possibly do that she wouldn't want to be privy to? Whatever it was, it did not make her happy.
Garrett nods in solidarity when he sees that look on her face.
Oh. Oh. Tell me.
I'm not telling
Oh.
you shit.
No, not like that. No, just how hard is it to turn off your feed or to block people out when they're doing things and you don't want to see?
Do you know a really annoying song?
Oh no. Don't tell me it's like trying to get a song out of your head.
No, no. I'm saying if you know a really annoying song, send it back.
That's a really good idea. Okay, I can do that. That makes sense. Oh, that's really good advice. Could be a little jarring in the moment, but really good advice.
Just make it a good one.
Okay. Okay. Well, unless you want some popcorn, and she'll kind of tilt the bag his direction and, token offering.
He waves it away and he shakes his head.
Then, I'm gonna go try not to think about the things I don't want to see through a pack link.
He nods. I'm going to go on patrol
Mm-hmm.
and hope nothing comes through.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Garrett.
He nods again.
And she'll go ahead and bustle up and brush off the back of her skirt. And kind of bob her head to him as he's getting up and getting ready to leave, and go ahead and meander back towards her cabin. And actually, we'll probably pause halfway and turn towards Olaf's cabin. Head that way instead.
After Maeve leaves, Garrett will put out the cigarette he's got because it's nearing the end, and he'll hold on to it because he does not litter around the rock anymore. I can't talk. He does not litter around the rock anymore. And he will stand up and dust himself off with one hand, straighten his clothes, and walk off.
Oh. With that surprisingly amiable parting, we will say thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. And we will see you next time on another episode of Living World of Darkness, Rage Across New York.